right?
Go ahead.
All right, Bob, tell us about what happened in there today. A little bit disappointing because this really puts back plans.
Well, it's very disappointing because it forces us at this point now to stop construction on these projects, go back to the drawing board with two things in mind. One is how can we meet what the Commission indicated they wanted this morning, which incidentally was the first time we've ever heard that number. And secondly, we have to look at it in terms of the cost of the project itself. We're spending $125 million on these projects in addition to the $75 million fee to move each of our racetracks and the $50 million license fee for the video lottery terminals. So, in terms of what makes sense in this investment, we have to look at that also.
You guys were pretty much, it seemed like you were sort of angry about what they were doing because you said they're moving the goalposts.
Well, I think that's a good way to put it. We presented these plans initially in November with fewer seats. We were told at the time, well, we'd like to see some more seats. We've raised the number of seats twice on both the Mahoning Valley and Dayton projects. We have really maxed out the number of seats we can put in the existing building as it's planned. And today they came up with a number for an additional 650 seats. It's a number we've never heard before. So it's frustrating because we were ready to award about $4 million worth of steel and foundation contracts on each of the sites in Dayton and in Austintown. And we're not going to be able to move ahead with that, obviously, because we now have to go create new plans and come back to the Commission at some point in the future to get permission.
What does that process look like? What's the timeline that you have to do?
I would say 4 to 6 months. It may be a little faster for the Mahoning project than the Dayton project because of the environmental issues. On the Dayton site, which is a former Delphi automotive manufacturing plant and has environmental remediation issues, which we don't have in Youngstown, but 4 months at the minimum.
It sounds as though that the Horse Racing Commission, and rightly so, they're more concerned about the horse racing part of it instead of the VLTs and stuff.
And so are we. Not more. We're equally concerned. This project includes both. But this is an issue where Penn National is the largest operator of pari-mutuel wagering horse tracks in the country. What we proposed was based on our experience, studying the market and what we felt the market would bear and what the demand would be in the local market. And we would love to be wrong. And we would love a year from now or whatever to say, wow, the demand's much bigger than we anticipated. And we would be the first ones to say we need to expand this. And we made that offer to the Commission today. Let us build this building, and when we come back each year, which we must, to get racing dates for the following year, you may ask us again, doesn't this need to be expanded? And we would be more than willing to do that. The problem is that we don't believe that the market, as it stands today, in this day and age, given what's gone on in the racing industry over the last several decades, to support the kind of numbers they're talking about. But we will go take a look at it because it's clear that the Commission is focused on the number of seats.
He said that he felt that the process was broken in there, like the Commission themselves, how they handle these processes broken. Is that what you guys believe, I guess?
Well, I think it's broken in the sense that, as I explained earlier, we presented these plans in November. Then we come back in February and are told, well, you need to put in more seats. And we come back, and we do. And we come back in March and we put in more seats. And then today they say, well, you need 650 more seats. What we were saying, in effect, was if you want to set specific requirements for these tracks, which do not exist at the moment, either in law or in Commission rules, then go ahead and pass rules that set the requirements so that we know what to design to.
So they need to make it more cookie cutter if that's what they want.
Well, I don't know about cookie cutter.
Make it adequate so you can come up with a correct bid.
I think what they need to do is tell us what it is they're looking for instead of having us come back here every week or every month, and we're guessing. So we increase the number of seats, but then we're told, well, that wasn't enough. And I think that's what the reference to the process being broken consisted of.
Bob, do you know how many enclosed seats there are at Beulah and Raceway?
I don't have the exact numbers. It's probably more than are at these tracks. Beulah was built in the 1920s. Raceway Park, I think, in the 1930s. It's an entirely different industry today. Everybody knows that. One of the reasons that we're going through all of this, and one of the reasons that we put money for the Racing Commission into the original casino amendment 4 years ago, and one of the reasons that the state decided to allow the racetracks to operate VLT facilities is the recognition that the horse racing industry is not what it used to be. That's primarily due to changes in what people look for in entertainment, but also significantly due to the constant diminishing of purses because the revenue simply isn't there to support it. And this would help that. Having these two new racetracks would clearly allow the purses to be increased. The people from Thistledown indicated this morning they plan to increase purses based on their new facility. So I guess we're having a hard time understanding if this is all about the best interests of racing, why would you do something that delays two brand new racetracks by 6 months?
How many enclosed seats are there right now, I guess, in the plans?
I'd have to look. There's so many numbers flying around,
yeah.
It's difficult, but I think the number of enclosed seats in the Mahoning facility is somewhere. Now, I better don't use this piece because I sound like a dummy. Let me look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather have it right.
Yeah, me too.